Hello everybody, welcome back to another main meals of the week video. So this is what we are having for Monday. So we were supposed to have a roast dinner Monday and tea on Tuesday, but I did a swap. So today we are having panini. So we haven't actually had these before. So yeah, well, I'm not entirely sure how I do them. We don't have a griddle, so we're kind of just doing it our own little way. So this is Simon's. He wanted cheese and also ham in his. Rebecca doesn't want a panini, so I think she had some kind of egg, egg type meal. Probably eggy bread or something like that. And then, so this is basically what I've done. A little bit of olive oil in a pan, and then put another heavy pan on top, and then fried it for a little bit. Obviously a bit of weight on it helps to crisp up a little bit out the outside of it. And then turn it over and do the same for a few minutes. It actually worked really well. It was very, very tasty, and the olive oil give it a really nice flavour to it as well. So that is Simon's cheese and ham panini, and then he's also got a banana. And then I didn't fancy ham. I'm not a big ham lover, so I fancied some cheese and tomato in mine, and that was very tasty. I'll definitely have this again. Hannah didn't have hers cooked, so she just wanted hers like a sub roll sort of thing. So next time, hopefully, I can convince her to have it cooked. Tuesday, we had our roast dinner. So this is Hannah's roast dinner with loads and loads of little roast potatoes. And we've got Yorkshire puddings, broccoli, cauliflower, mashed potato and chicken. Yeah, Hannah's got loads of roast potatoes because she's not a big fan of mashed potato. So we just thought, you know what, we'll just give her what she fancies. This was Wednesday. So I've got bubble and squeak, basically left over from our roast dinner, mashed together with potatoes, squashed into patties and fried in a tiny bit of olive oil. Got some chicken tenders with that as well. That one is my gluten-free. The chicken tenders were actually really nice, the Tesco gluten-free ones, the fresh ones. Frozen ones I said before I have had were not very nice. Then Thursday we had cauliflower cheese. This was actually my birthday, so I very, very much wanted cauliflower cheese for my birthday. I absolutely love cauliflower cheese. So this is actually Rebecca's portion, and then I always like to do it with some of the cheap chips. I don't know why, I just love those chips dipped in cauliflower cheese. So that was what we had for my birthday meal. Then Friday we had, well, me and Simon had stir fry. So we've got rice, because I don't get on with noodles very well. The rice noodles I'm not keen on. And yeah, so this is what we had. We've got chicken, there's peppers, there's baby corn, there's all sorts of things in there. And Saturday we had burgers and chips. So this is Simon's burger, nice cheesy burger with lettuce, tomato, some homemade chips. Always do homemade chips on a Saturday. And then he's going to have some nice burger relish on top of that as well. And we all had the same for our burgers. Hannah had a sausage patty, but the rest of us had the same burgers. And that was Saturday. Sunday, Rebecca's got her southern fried chicken breast chunks. These were extremely hot crinkle cut chips that I've bought from Waitrose. Very, very hot. They did very well in the air fryer actually. I put them in for about 15 minutes at, I think it was 200 degrees, and they did really well. So there's the southern fried chicken breast chunks, and she's having that with peas. And then I haven't filmed Hannah's because she's got the same as me and Simon. We've just got jacket potatoes, beans and cheese, some Waitrose coleslaw salad. That Waitrose coleslaw is delicious. Well, that was what we had for our dinners and main meals this week. We did have, obviously, when we have our tea, I don't tend to show every single thing that we have. So I show you like usually the main thing that we have, but quite often we'll go back out and get some fruit, or go back out and get some, I don't know, nuts, or a nice thing like a cakey type thing, or who knows, all sorts of bits and bobs. But so it's not, we didn't just have a panini. So yeah, they were very tasty. It's definitely, I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've had a panini. Years ago, I remember having, like in a cafe or something, some like toasty. I don't know whether I've had a panini. Maybe I have. That's the first time I've made one at home, or done one at home. And I had the gluten-free one, and they were actually really nice. I really enjoyed it. And especially that, I think the oil makes a little bit of difference, tiny little bit of oil. But specifically I used extra virgin olive oil and it was really nice. It gave it a really nice flavour. But I potentially would look at putting different things in them. Yeah, the possibilities are endless, aren't they? But I would probably have a bit of salad on the side next time. I just didn't know what to do this time. So, you know, without having a griddle, and I thought, what can I use as a weight? Who knows? So yeah, did what I did and it turned out okay. We all enjoyed it. And that was the end of that. So then our roast dinner on Tuesday, you know, we all love a roast dinner. I don't love cooking it because it takes a very long time to cook. I always feel like I'm cooking for hours and hours and hours. This week I managed to get it done pretty easily. I think I prepared everything beforehand, so it didn't seem like when it came around to cooking it that there was much to do. Sometimes I prepare it, sometimes I don't. But because we were actually quite busy out in the garden doing a base for the garden room, so yeah, we were I had to try and get as much of it done as I could in advance so that we had time to go and just do that. So yeah, it kind of worked out quite well actually. Wednesday we had bubble and squeak, which is always a nice easy one. I love doing a bubble and squeak. I do love the taste of bubble and squeak. The girls are not so keen on it, but they will eat it. So, you know, that's one compromise that we do have. So they will eat a bubble and squeak. And I just love it. It's just something nice and easy. Use up your leftovers. Although I tend to do extra potato just for bubble and squeak when we're going to have it. Obviously it uses up vegetables and things like that, which is always handy. Didn't actually have very many left over this time, so I had to use some of our peas from the freezer. But it's always handy to keep things like that in the freezer. Peas, green beans, things like that, for when you need to add them to a meal. And the chicken tenders were really nice actually. I think the hot ones I bought from Tesco, Simon had most of them and said they were pretty hot. They did have a good kick to them. The girls had one each to try, and yeah, Hannah couldn't quite finish hers because it was very hot apparently. Rebecca ate hers, but they had the southern fried ones between them. I had the Tesco free from chicken tenders, and I really liked them, like fresh ones. They were really nice, and I would have them again. So there was like 4 in the pack, so I've had 2, but they were a bit plain. There's no like flavour. So I think what I'm going to do next time, I've frozen the other 2, is once I've defrosted them, I potentially, before I cook them, I've got loads of jars of things, you know, I've got, just loads of jars. I've got some herbs and spices and things. Just sprinkle a few of them on and hopefully it'll give it an extra good kick and a bit of flavour, because I feel like quite often they don't do that for gluten-free products. You just kind of miss out really a lot of the time, so I can add it on quite easily myself, so that's good. And my cauliflower cheese, I made it sort of midday-ish, I think, on my birthday. So I was really looking forward to that, so I'm very happy I had cauliflower cheese on my birthday, and always love those chips, like I said, to dip in. I know it's not everybody's taste, and there's quite a lot of beige, you know, probably not very healthy and quite fattening with all the cheese I put in it, but it was my birthday, my 40th at that, so will let me off. So Friday we had a stir fry, which I love that as well. And although I kind of loosely follow a recipe just with the rough amounts, but I don't use a lot of the same things that they use, and I just chuck stuff in, really make it up. Couldn't get hold of the bag of stir fry that I liked, but it doesn't matter too much because I've got edamame beans in the freezer, and I just chuck some of those in, 150 grams of those. I have filmed the stir fry a while back, so one day you'll see that video if you're interested, if I ever get around to doing a voiceover and editing it. So yeah, I always love a good stir fry. Very tasty, there's a lot of flavour in that, and I love the cashews that go into it as well. Saturday we just had burgers, so you saw Simon's burger. So last time we had burgers, I had like a Tesco Finest quarter pounder burger, and Simon and Rebecca had I can't remember what they're called now, the matured cheddar burgers. So this time we've swapped, And Simon's had a quarter pounder burger and I've had a mature cheddar burger this time. So yeah, they're bigger and I'm not sure that they taste that much different because I put cheese on it anyway. But always love a good burger. And I always love homemade chips as well. They're the best chips you can get, homemade chips or chip chop chips. I'm just a big potato fan. If anybody knows me by now, they'll know I'm a big potato fan. Absolutely love them. Any form of potatoes, pretty much. But mostly I love my roast potatoes, chips. I do love potato scallops, but they do make a massive mess. I don't have them. I think I've only had them once since I've been doing YouTube. So they make a gigantic mess. And the batter, gluten-free batter, is not quite as nice as the original normal batter. And then lastly, Sunday, jacket potatoes, beans and cheese and some salad. Though that Waitrose coleslaw was absolutely delicious. So much nicer than the Tesco's. Like, I mean, that was just a Waitrose Essentials coleslaw. So the Tesco equivalent is nowhere near as nice at all. There's not much flavour. The Waitrose one was so creamy and lovely that I would definitely be getting that again. I'm actually going to try, when I go back to Tesco's next week, and I might get some of their finest coleslaw just to see how that might compare to the Waitrose Essentials coleslaw. Just out of interest, just to see. Might be tasty as well. But otherwise, I would definitely get that coleslaw again from Waitrose. But there we go. That was my main meals of the week. That's what we had for our dinners this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And I will see you really soon. Bye!